And you know it's a problem when back in my high school, more niggas on the football team was gay than the band kids, bro.
You just need to sit for me. I'm here relaying. I really care about you. I'm here relaying. I'm here care about you no more.
The roses are falling as I welcome myself back to my own YouTube channel. What's up, y'all? Today we're diving into a topic that's real, raw, and a little bit misunderstood. Men on the down low, boys on the down low for the young kids, and men on the down low for the older ones. You probably heard the term DL before, maybe even used in a shady way, but let's unpack the truth behind it without the judgment, because if we want this epidemic to stop, we need less and less judgment. But there's no shame, but we need that less sort of judgment. But let's get into it real quick. When we say a man's on a down low, we're talking about someone, usually a man of color, who identifies publicly as straight, but privately has sex with men. By the way, this is separate from like being in the closet, because like being in the closet, it's like you haven't come out yet. You know, but you haven't come out yet. To me, DL means that you don't plan on coming out. You're permanently in this secret double life thing. But they can be the same thing. You can be DL and in the closet at the same time, but usually DL men don't want to come out. Usually. So, not every man is DL who's DL is trying to be shady. A lot of it comes down to culture, survival, and what it means to be a man in certain communities. Many DL men grew up in environments, religious, cultural, or even hyper-masculine, where being openly gay or bi is seen as unacceptable. So instead of coming out, they keep part of themselves hidden, even if it gets really dangerous. Even though it does get really dangerous. Not if, it does get really dangerous. Imagine being told what you're doing is wrong or not man enough your whole life. That's not just a personal struggle. That's systemic pressure. Being on the deal is sometimes the only way some men can survive socially and emotionally. And y'all, I'm not backing this up. I'm not okay with DL men. I am not defending DL men. I'm not defending the behaviors that they be on. I'm not defending none of this, y'all. I swear. I'm not defending none of this, y'all. I'm just explaining some of their way of thinking. From ones I talked to before, back when I really didn't care. Now I really do. Yeah, this is their way of thinking. I'm telling you, this is their way of thinking. But here is a key fact. Not all D-men identify as gay or even bisexual. That's a part of why this is so complex. Some say, oh, I'm straight, I just mess with dudes sometimes. And be like every week. And yeah, that might sound confusing, but let's be real. For many, identity is tied to how they live publicly, not what they do privately behind closed doors, even if there is getting a back door blown out. Now, let's talk health, the serious part, which is why I'm low-key against men being on the down low, especially in countries where you can be gay in public. You know, you're not like publicly persecuted, like you don't get killed for being gay, you don't get imprisoned for being gay. These countries where you have a little bit more freedom to be gay, I feel like people should, especially because of this. There has been a lot of fear-mongering around DL men and HIV. It is true that DL men have been a passageway for spreading HIV to straight women, because what some of them do is they will literally have just gotten like exploded in, right? Literally just have gotten exploded in, but then go back home to their girlfriend, fiance, wife, or whatever, and sleep with them. Literally. So I know I met a dude who literally done that in the same day. He told me that. I cut him off because I'm like, that's actually so disgusting. And I can't believe that I helped him do that. I didn't know that. If he told me that before, oh no, you're not finna stick this and then stick it in some cooter cat or the other way around. That is how you spread shit. But that's not how a lot of them operate. At least I hope. From what I know, that's like a very small percentage of them. A lot of them, they don't do the back and forth thing. They don't. They usually just sleep with men and then don't sleep with women. But I know some of them do go back and forth without telling both parties, without telling both sides. But the issue is about this ideology is that y'all are saying that, oh, just because you're gay, that means that you're spreading STDs. That's why you're on the down low about it. No, that's not fully accurate. Like, just because you're having sex with a man as a man, that doesn't mean you're automatically going to get HIV at some point. Nowadays there's Doxy PrEP, all these different medications you can take in order to prevent HIV. So it's not an automatic death sentence. But the thing is about DL men though, who's going to admit to taking Doxy PrEP? Who's going to admit to taking PrEP? If you're a straight man, you taking Doxy PrEP, bro, people are going to look at you funny. That's the way it is. People are just going to look at you funny. And I'm telling you, it's hard to even get on these HIV medications knowing that you have to hide that shit. Imagine living with a wife. And that's why it's like it's scary dealing with these DL men, because that's what they be thinking. They be like, I got this wife. She can't find my Doxy PrEP. She can't find my PrEP. She can't find this medication. Then my whole secret will be out. She can't. So I'm just going to do whatever. I'm going to feed my own selfish needs, because that's what it is at points. It is selfish. That's what it is. And if stuff happens, if it happens, it happens. And I'm sorry. But yes, we have limited healthcare access, but I feel like it's more accessible nowadays than it was before. And let's talk about the media. The media doesn't do DL men any favors either. Movies, talk shows, headlines paint them as liars and predators, which some of them are. A lot of them are. Some of them are. That only makes it harder for folks to have to be honest with their sexuality and safety. And nuance gets lost when everything's turned into a scandal. Understanding the DL experience is more than curiosity. It's about compassion. It's about recognizing how masculinity, racism, religion, queerness all intersect. From some DL men, it's a silent struggle. And while we don't have to agree with secrecy, we can choose to understand the reason behind it. Because I don't agree with that. I don't. Y'all can. Me personally, I don't agree with it. I don't mess with it. You shouldn't be literally getting exploded and then going to sleep next to your girl, bro. That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. You don't even know this dude's name, and you just letting him. That's actually crazy work. That's actually crazy work. I don't want that for my girls out there, my women. I don't want y'all need to stay alert. Stay alert. If your dude is running errands for too long, you might want to check his backside. You might want to check his backside. You might want to check that his front too, cause booty got like a distinct smell to it. It got a smell to it. It doesn't smell like poop necessarily, but it got a smell to it. It definitely has a smell to it. And whatchamacallit, and watching that back end, y'all, if he comes back home, tell him to pull his pants down and tell him to turn around. And if it looks, and you could tell, because if you were a straight man, you wouldn't let nobody touch your back end. But even then, it's like, if it's even a little bit open, he's been touched. He's been around. A lot of these men, they try to tighten themselves up before they go back to no. Signs doesn't let you tighten up that food. Especially the way that they be taking these big members, y'all. Y'all need to stay alert. Stay alert. Look at your man's body, because they be trying to hide them little grip marks that they got on their hands. They be trying to hide it, y'all. This is all that I'm trying to say. Because the little story time I'm gonna add here is, I dealt with a couple of them. This one guy, he was a couple years older than me, whatever. We had done this stuff. We talked for a while, and I was in the mood. He was in the mood. I got my I got the stuff that I need. I wasn't too worried. I'm not too worried. And I'm negative right now, anyways. I did that, and then after that, the way that his girlfriend like blew up my phone, blew up my phone. This isn't even that wasn't even the only time that happened. The second time this happened, I'm gonna talk about it in my series finale. My first time with the guy. This wasn't the first time this happened to me. Y'all, it's actually serious. I'm actually being so for real. Stop being so naive. Niggas are gay these days. And I'm so happy that not more men, but like people are more comfortable with even like tapping into it. But it's the way that y'all are doing it. The way that y'all are just sleeping with whoever and not telling nobody about your status and none of that. Not even checking. Y'all don't even get checked. Get checked. Please get checked. Get checked. All that. Girls, watch your man. Watch your man. You don't even have to worry about the women anymore. You gotta worry about the men too. Watch them both. As a queer guy myself, I am telling y'all, watch them both. Watch them. Watch the women, watch the men, especially the men, because the men are arguably worse. Watch them both. I hate to break it to you like this, but your man might have and probably has had done stuff with a man. Not even the woman at this point. He might have done stuff with the man. So watch your man. Not against me, because I don't do that married girlfriend, fiance. I don't do that stuff. Me personally, I find it kind of distasteful when I see captions of it on X and all that. I find it very distasteful, but that is just me. These other queers, they don't give a damn. They don't care about y'all. And you know it's a problem when back in my high school, more niggas on the football team was gay than the band kids, bro. More niggas was gay on the football team than band kids. So ladies, please watch your man. Please watch your man. Please. Watch his, if you get the chance, watch his phone history. Watch your man. And I hope y'all enjoyed this little Storytimes of Pride episode. This was literally more informational than anything. I barely tapped in with my stories, y'all, but this is more informational. I hope y'all enjoy. I hope y'all stay tuned for my first time with the guy video, and where I'm going to talk about his crazy baby mama. Yeah, that's coming. I hope y'all enjoy, and bye.